जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद।
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव।
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय
जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय
गुरु महाराज की जय,
जय
वीरेंद्राज श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय
शिवगण कृष्णदास प्रभु जी की जय.
जय।
All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you all devotees. Okay, Hima Mataji also joined. Thank you Mataji for joining. Deepti Mataji. Okay, Social Mataji also. Okay, thank you all devotees for joining our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading morning session in English. Hare Krishna. So we have completed on Thursday 6.16.33. 33 was the last verse which we read on Thursday of chapter 16. So we'll start with verse number 34. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktar Bhavati Nashtagi Mugam Karodi Vachalam Bhangum Lange De Girim Yat Krvata Mahamande Paramananda Madhavam Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Sri Chaitanya Mishara Momajnana Vinandasya Jnananjana Shalagya Chachurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurive Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagata Mahyanda Dandi Subhadandigam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Udapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Sagar Raghunadanidam Dam Sajivam Sadvedam Savadutam Parjan Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lirga Sri Vishakha Nidamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanasude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyecha Kripa Sindhupeva Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deva Gaviravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshadarna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu. Hare Krishna. Welcome once more all devotees for our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we'll start with verse number 34 today. Hare Krishna. Raji, I will read 34.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Thank you. Citraketurvacha Ajida Chidha Samamadibihi Sadhubhirbhavan Chidatmabhirbhavatam Vijidaste api cha bhajada magamatmanam ya atmado adhikarunaha Citrakedurvacha ajida jida samamabhi adibhihi sadhubhirbhavan jida abhi jidatmabhir bhavatam vijidaste api cha bhajida magamatmanam ya atmado adhikarunaha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhajaranaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Citraketu said, O unconquerable Lord, although you cannot be conquered by anyone, you are certainly conquered by devotees who have control of the mind and senses. They can keep you under their control because you are causelessly merciful to devotees who desire no material profit from you. Indeed, you give yourself to them, and because of this, you also have full control over your devotees. Puppet. The Lord and the devotees both conquer. The Lord is conquered by the devotees, and the devotees are conquered by the Lord. Because of being conquered by one another, they both derive transcendental bliss from their relationship. The highest perfection of this mutual conquering is exhibited by Krishna and the gopis. The gopis conquered Krishna, and Krishna conquered the gopis. Thus, whenever Krishna played his flute, he conquered the minds of the gopis, and without seeing the gopis, Krishna could not be happy. Other transcendentalists, such as jnanis and yogis, cannot conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only pure devotees can conquer him. Pure devotees are described as samamati, which means that they never deviate from devotional service under any circumstances. It is not that devotees worship the Supreme Lord only when happy, they worship Him even when in distress. Happiness and distress do not hamper the process of devotional service. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam says that devotional service is ahaituki apradihata, unmotivated and uninterrupted. When a devotee offers devotional service to the Lord without any motive, anyabhilasha shunya, his service cannot be hampered by any material condition. Aparadihata. Apradihata. Thus, a devotee who offers service in all conditions of life can claim personality of Godhead. A special distinction between devotees and the other transcendentalists, namely the jnanis and yogis, in this yogis, is that jnanis and yogis artificially try to become one with the Supreme, whereas devotees never aspire for such an impossible accomplishment. Devotees who know that their position is to be eternally servants of the Supreme Lord and never to be one with Him. Therefore, they are called sammati or jidatma. They detest oneness with the Supreme. They have no lusty desires for oneness. Instead, their desires is to be freed from all material hankering. Therefore, they are called Nishkama, desireless. A living entity cannot exist without a desire, but desires that can never be fulfilled are called Kama, lusty desires. Kamis, Kamis,
Istai Ritajnana.
Stair, Hrida, Yana. Okay, because of lusty desires, non-devotees are deprived of their intelligence. Thus, they are unable to conquer the Supreme Lord. Whereas devotees, being freed from such unreasonable desires, can conquer the Lord. Such devotees are not conquered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are pure, being free from all material desires. They fully surrender to the Supreme Lord, and therefore the Lord conquers them. Such devotees never aspire for liberation. They simply desire to serve the lotus feet of the Lord because they serve the Lord without desires for remuneration. They can conquer the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is by nature very merciful, and when he sees that his servant is working without desires for material profit, naturally he is conquered. Devotees are always engaged in the service. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor Vachamsi Vaikunda Gunanu Varnane. All the activities of their senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. Because of such devotion, the Lord gives himself to his devotees as if they could see him for any purpose they might desire. Of course, devotees have no purpose other than to serve. When a devotee fully surrenders and has no aspiration for material profit, the Lord certainly gives him all opportunities for service. This is the position of the Lord when conquered by his devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, Sri Kumar Prabhu. Actually, I think this is very, very wonderful
Purport, yeah.
purport. Prabhupada has given the essence of Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? We can understand from the purport, very beautifully given with a lot of examples and verses also. So we are seeing this Citraketu Maharaj, after great difficulty, he is getting a son, but that son also dies in the early stage because they have been poisoned by the other envious queens. And then Citraketu Maharaj is lamenting very badly, is distressed. So that time Narada Muni and Angira Muni, they come and then they pacify Citraketu Maharaj and instruct him that we should not lament like for the temporary body. And they instruct him to do tapasya, chanting the names of the Lord. Same like how Dhruva Maharaj was instructed to chant, Om Namo Narayana. Like that, he has given a mantra to chant. So then Citraketu Maharaj got enlightened and then he started taking spiritual practices very seriously. And then he's fasting and drinking only water and he's chanting for his mantra for 1 week with great attention. So when he is doing this tapasya, then he is able to get the darshan of the Lord. So that is what we are seeing here. Once seeing the Lord, he becomes like very, very emotional and he's not able to, it's like a kind of ecstasy. He's not able to speak and he was not able to offer the prayers also. Then after that, by the mercy of the Lord, by controlling his mind and senses, he is recurring his speech. This is what past verses is talking about. Today, 34, verse number 34 is a new section where 34 to 49, actually Citraketu Maharaj is offering prayers to the Lord. Like when we see that there are a lot of prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam, so many prayers are there. Bhagavatam is full of prayers. Bhishma Devi prayers, Kunti Devi prayers, Maharaj Ambarish prayers. Like that, this is now we are starting the prayer section where Citraketu Maharaj is expressing his emotions in the form of a prayer to the Lord. So this is the first verse in the prayer. Citraketu Maharaj is saying, O unconquerable Lord, Ajita, the Lord's one of the name of the Lord is called Ajita, means one who cannot be conquered. So that is that's why this verse starts with Ajita. You can see Ajita and then Jita is coming. Jita means again he is unconquerable, but again he can be conquered. How he can be conquered? Although you cannot be conquered by anyone, you are certainly conquered by devotees. Who can actually, then what is the devotees like? Who have control over the mind and senses. Okay, that is called so Ajita and Jita. The Lord is unconquerable, but by pure devotees, they can conquer the Lord. Like we know Mother Yashoda, how she conquered the Lord, like when, this famous Damodar Leela, where the Mother Yashoda is chasing Krishna. Prabhupada used to say that, normally in every religion they ask God, give us our daily bread. That they are asking God to give the bread. But here, the devotee is in such an exalted position, he calls God and asks, did you eat or not? This is reverse. Mother Yashoda is chastising Krishna. Krishna, why you are not still taking the food? Come, take the food. Like that, she is commanding God. So here there is a request, but here is commanding. Because the devotees, actually, the Lord is under the control of his devotees. So that is, but who are those devotees? They are actually very pure in their heart. They don't have any tinge of material, hankerings. You are certainly conquered by devotees who have control of the mind and senses. And how they are able to control the Lord, in the translation it is there, in this verse translation, they can keep you under control because you are costlessly merciful to devotees who desire no material profit from you. Because the Lord is actually very merciful to the devotees. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, Namai Deshtar Nama Priha. Krishna is saying that I am not favoring anybody, nor I am enemy to anyone. That's why we see atheists also, even though they don't pray to God, they are getting whatever material facilities. They get money, they get education. And the common people who don't have the scriptural knowledge, they think, oh, these people are not praying to God, but they are getting everything in their life. Then why should I pray to God? So if you see in material terms, that does not make big sense. But Krishna is telling, Ye bhajatu maam bhaktya, but anybody is approaching me with devotion, Mai teshu chapaham, means I am very dear to them. They are very dear to me, and I am also very dear to them. That is a secret. So here we are approaching the Lord. Main thing is actually not for any material profit, but for reciprocation. They say, like God gives and forgives. Man get and forget. So that's the difference between God and man. Like God keeps on, giving us. He's giving us our life. He's giving us water, air, light, and he's giving us food every day. But, we are keeping on getting, and God is keeping on forgiving. But that should not be. A devotee is not having that kind of, forgetting. He is trying to reciprocate to the Lord. Even though he gives or not gives, he wants to reciprocate with Lord with the love and devotion. Very, very high platform. That is what is it say? The position of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very high, very elevated. That's why it said that Bhagavatam is for Paramahamsas. They are being released by the pure devotees of the Lord. So indeed, you give yourself to them. So the Lord is totally surrendered to the devotees. We know that Krishna told to the gopis that I cannot repay you your love in any lifetime. Like that. That kind of you. When the Lord gives himself completely to them. And because of this, you also have full control over your devotees. See why Krishna is having full control over his devotees? Because he himself gives himself to the devotees, and the devotees also don't hanker anything like like trying to exploit the Lord's mercy. They will not have that kind of mentality, because once they have a tinge of exploitative nature, then the Lord leaves them. The Lord, because sometimes even in the pastimes with the gopis, sometimes when Krishna was dancing with the gopis, they had a tinge that now Krishna is my property. Immediately Krishna disappeared. So Krishna is ready to surrender to any devotee who have no kind of pride or no kind of material hankering. So in that stage, Krishna is totally under the control of the devotee. So that's why it is written, you give yourself to them. Because of this, you also have full control over your devotees. So Prabhupada gives a very, very wonderful, detailed purport of reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. So here, Jita and Ajita, two words are there in the sloka. Jita, Ajita means unconquerable Lord. How the unconquerable Lord, when you say, he becomes also conquered. So it is like a contradiction. Once you say that Lord is unconquerable, again you see Lord can be conquered. How is that? So it is that by the devotee's devotion, he can be conquered. So here Prabhupada writes that Lord and the devotees both conquer. It is a kind of sweet reciprocation, we can say, a kind of sweet reciprocation between the Lord and the devotees. This may be like how we understand this. Unless we don't relish it, we cannot understand this. Like it is like we say sugarcane juice, we need to drink it. So unless we are coming to that stage of that devotion, we cannot really relish what is being Prabhupada is explaining here. Out of his ecstasy, he is explaining the Lord. And Prabhupada said that my purports are my devotional ecstasies. Prabhupada just did not write vaguely all this purport. It's an expression of his ecstasy. So that's what here Prabhupada writes here. The Lord and the devotees both conquer each other. There's a fight, competition between the Lord and the devotee. Who is conquering more? Sometimes the Lord gets failed also by the devotee's devotion. He becomes very kind of helpless, or he becomes so emotional also. Like we know Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, when they approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were expressing their humility more. The Lord said, enough. I cannot tolerate more than this. No, you don't speak more than this. I cannot tolerate. I will collapse here. So like that, he expressed this inability. Because of the love, the love expressed by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami when they met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like that, the Lord and the devotees both, they are able to conquer each other, and it is a kind of competition, sweet competition and sweet reciprocation. The Lord is conquered by the devotees, and the devotees are conquered by the Lord. Even in Brahma Samhita, we read that verse, no? Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhaktu. Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhaktu. That means, if you study the Vedic scriptures, if you are very proficient in Vedic scriptures, you are very proficient in doing the rituals, still the Lord cannot be conquered. Vedeshu durlabam. Durlabam is difficult. Adurlabam means not difficult. Atma bhakto means for a devotee to conquer the Lord, it is very, very easy. And the devotees are conquered by the Lord. It is a two-way reciprocation. Because of being conquered by one another, what happens is both derive transcendental bliss from their relationships. So that is how, human life or Jivatma wants happiness, because the Jivatma is Sachidananda. The nature of the Jivatma is to be always happy. Ananda Mayo Vyasat means the Jivatma is always looking for happiness, but that happiness we are trying to extract from the material atmosphere, then it is ending in frustration. But the same bliss we are experiencing from the reciprocation of the Lord, the devotees are relishing that. So the devotees are also experiencing happiness. Prabhupada says that the materialists try to be happy with sense gratification, whereas the spiritualist, like they see, Prabhupada says like something like this. A materialist is a person who tries to seek happiness outside himself, and a spiritualist is a person who tries to experience happiness within himself. Within himself means like reciprocating with the Lord. So that is how both are looking for happiness only, either the materialist or spiritualist. But one is looking outside, one is looking inside. And the person who looks outside, he gets some kind of temporary happiness followed by misery. But the person who is actually experiencing happiness is experiencing permanent happiness. So that happiness is actually always with him. It is not conditioned by time, place, or circumstance. Okay, so that is the difference between a materialist and spiritualist. The highest perfection of this mutual conquering is exhibited by Krishna and Gopi. So Prabhupada gives an example now, because we are only reading theory, as I said, like sugarcane juice. We write volumes of books about sugarcane juice, still we cannot understand. So Prabhupada is giving a practical example of the relationship which Krishna performed while he was in this Bhauma Vrindavan. The highest perfection of this mutual conquering is exhibited by Krishna and the gopis. We know that the gopis conquered Krishna. Like Krishna became the puppet in the hand of gopis. Like gopis will tell Krishna to dance, Krishna dances. Like he became like a puppet in the hands of gopis. At the same time, Krishna also conquered the gopis. So how is that? Prabhupada giving that Leela, that whenever Krishna played his flute, what happens? In the middle of the night, when Krishna played the flute, all the gopis, it's described beautifully in the 10th canto, even though we are not qualified, but it is very beautifully described that the gopis just left everything. Some gopis left their husband, some gopis just left their household duties. Some gopis, even they were feeding their child, they just, kept the child aside, and everybody started running towards Krishna when they hear the sweet music of the flute. He conquered the minds of the gopis. Again, you see the word mind is very important. Krishna only sees our mind, bhava. Bhava comes from the mind. So he conquered the mind of the gopis. And without seeing the gopis, Krishna could not be happy. And Krishna also, no, he was very he was very morose. Like if he's not able to see the gopis, he was not feeling very happy. That's why we can see that the whole Ratha Yatra is about how the gopis are actually inviting back Krishna to Vrindavan, because Krishna is also not happy without the gopis. So this is how the mutual reciprocation is there between the devotees and Krishna. Same thing we can see also. All these pure devotees, they are exhibiting the same kind of mood. Other transcendentalists such as jnanis and yogis cannot conquer the supreme personalities of Godhead, because the spiritual people, there are three categories. One is bhakta, devotees, pure devotees. Then there are also jnanis. If you go, even in India, you go to Varanasi, Rishikesh, Haridwar, you can see many spiritual people following different process, to attain spiritual perfection. So in that category, we have devotees. We also have jnanis. Jnanis, they are more focused on cultivating their wisdom by reading scriptures, by discussing scriptures. Jnanis means they are very intellectually strong, and they are like very, very much into the scriptural knowledge. And the yogis, they are actually doing a lot of this Ashtanga yoga. They are trying to control their mind and senses by performing this yogic exercises. And they are having a lot of siddhis also. Somebody can cure your health, somebody can bring you wealth, like that. They have siddhis. But they also in the spiritual line, but they are like more, not like pure devotees. So they cannot conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Means the Lord is not attracted by their spiritual practices, but only pure devotees can conquer him. So why the pure devotees can conquer? Because of the love. This whole world is actually controlled by love only. Whether we say the mother or child, or the parents and the children, what is the binding factor between all of them? Only
Yes.
the invisible love is binding all of us. If you say a family, husband, wife, children, what is binding all of them in a family? Why somebody is sacrificing, for other person? What is the binding factor? Is actually the love. So the same love only Krishna also become conquered. This love is invisible, but it is very, very powerful. So pure devotees here in the verse, actually they are described as Ajita Jita Samamati. Samamati means it is describing about the pure devotees, not devotees. Prabhupada uses the pure devotees means. What is that pure devotee means? Prabhupada explained that they never deviate from devotional service under any circumstances. This is called pure devotees. So there are a lot of people, if you go to Gujarat, they say, they don't say good morning, they say Jai Shri Krishna. So they are also devoted to Krishna. But what is the difference? When they get everything, they are very happy with Krishna. But if they don't get things, material things, maybe they are not that much, happy or that much devoted, even though they verbally say Jai Shri Krishna, like that. Not I am saying only Gujarat, but I am saying mixed devotees means what happens? It is not that devotees worship the Supreme Lord only when happy. So our life is full of, today maybe we are happy, our time is good, we are having running maybe, Shukra Dasa, Venus. Then a lot of things come in favor of us and we are very jubilant. We are very much thankful to the Lord that, everything happens, whatever we wish that happens. Whatever we plan, that will be materialized. Then we are very happy with Krishna. And people who are around us also, they are very much amazed. They are praying to Krishna and they are very happy. And they are also inspired to worship Krishna. But there are situations, then tomorrow, maybe our time is not good. Then so much problems, challenges can come in form of health, or it may come in the form of family members. It can come, it will come. Because this life, we cannot experience only happiness. This life is a combination of duality, happiness and distress. But the pure devotees means that happiness and distress do not hamper the process of their devotional service. And Prabhupada immediately quotes what is that pure devotion means. Haituki apratihata. It is unmotivated because they don't hanker for anything material. They don't care what happens to their life. That is, they don't not having any motivation. I am doing this to Krishna, so Krishna will bless me with good job, good life, good health, like that. No, they are beyond that, unmotivated. And uninterrupted means whether they experience happiness or distress, they still continue with the devotional with the same enthusiasm. Utsaha, nischaya, dhairya, tat tat karma pravartana. So that's one of their quality with same enthusiasm. Now, again, we can see the practical example of Srila Prabhupada, how he went to Western countries and his, typewriter was stolen. His roommate was a drug addict. But Prabhupada was not, thinking that, I came to preach about your glories, but you are giving me so much troubles, Krishna. So he did not tell Krishna, you are not fair. Prabhupada never was. Prabhupada was same enthusiasm. Even though almost 1.5 years, he struggled without any devotees. He was struggling. And every time he will go, after he was very depressed, and he will go back to the shipping company and ask, when is your next ship? But again, he had some enthusiasm. And the ship manager asked, every time you come, but you are not going back. He said, no, I still have some hope. I will try again. My mind is telling, let me try one more time. Let me try one more time. So this is called, like unmotivated and uninterrupted. Prabhupada never deviated or never cursed Krishna that, Krishna, I came here, but you are putting me into so much trouble. I came to do service to you, but you are making my life more and more miserable. But never Prabhupada has any one time complained about his inconveniences. So that is called unmotivated and uninterrupted. Surely we cannot imitate. We can always actually take inspiration from these great Acharyas' lives. Like we have now Isola Jayapatra Swami Guru Maharaj. Also, you can see that he is undergoing tremendous difficulties. But he has not deviated any inch from devotional service. He is continuously serving the Lord, unmotivated and uninterrupted. Like there are a lot of examples we can see. That's why it is said that we have to always read the life history of pure devotees. That will give us inspiration and strength. Oh, they were like that. So then that will give us strength. The more we read their life stories or how they were unmotivated and uninterrupted, it also gives us so much of strength and inspiration to continue our devotional service in spite of any difficult circumstances we may encounter. So here, when a devotee offers devotional service to the Lord without any motive, Anya Abhilasha system, his service cannot be hampered by any material condition, apratihata. Thus, a devotee who offers service in all conditions of life can conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada has given us that formula, that 4 regulative principles, 16 round chanting, in spite of anything what happens in our life. So like that, if we are continuously engaging in our devotional service in all conditions, then we will also get the mercy of the Lord. Again, Prabhupada goes to give the distinction between the devotees and transcendentalists, and we discuss who are the jnanis and yogis. Why Krishna is not attracted by the jnanis and yogis is because they live up that Sevananda. Because we say Brahmananda. Brahmananda means merging, realizing that I am Brahman. But above Brahmana, one is actually what we are experiencing happiness through sense gratification. That is one kind of happiness. Then second is actually higher kind of happiness is you are actually taking a spiritual life. It's called Brahmananda. But higher than that is actually Sevananda. Sevananda means you are experiencing happiness by doing seva. So that Sevananda, these jnanis and yogis, they don't experience because they are trying to become one with the Supreme. Means they want to merge with the Supreme. So that seva is not there. Because seva means we need a person to be served. So here the bhakta is there. He's having the service and he's serving the Lord. So in between the service is there. In the reciprocation, he is actually experiencing Sevananda. But jnanis and yogis, they are trying to merge with the Brahman. And there is no Sevananda. Only they try to practice spiritual practices without any seva to the Lord. So whereas devotees never aspire for such an impossible accomplishment. Because the devotees know that Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. They know that we are eternally servants of the Supreme Lord, and therefore they are called as Samamati or Jitatma. Jitatma means who can conquer. Jitatma. They don't like actually to become one with the Lord. They said in the Vaishnava scriptures that they can even commit suicide, but they will not actually prefer to merge with the Lord. And they have no lusty desire for oneness, instead of their desire to be free from material hankering. So their only prayer is They want to be free from all material hankering. So Prahlad Maharaj prayers is there for Lord Narasimhadev that when Narasimhadev asked if you want, please ask any benediction. Initially, Prahlad Maharaj said no. Then when Narasimhadev Bhagavan insisted, no, you have to ask something from me. I appeared, you have to ask. Then Prahlad Maharaj asked only two things, that please liberate my father because he is doing out of ignorance. Second thing, Prahlad Maharaj asked, whatever my lusty desires in my heart, please kill that. That very famous Idi Dasyasi Me Kaman. Like that, there is one verse actually in Bhagavatam where Prahlad Maharaj is praying that please kill the material desires, the lusty desires. That is the desire of a prayer of a devotee. So, okay, see, instead the desires to be freed from all material hankering. See, imagine a life if you don't have any material hankering. It's a very blissful life. You are not having any kind of desires in the material world. Prabhupada said when he was living this material body, he was finally saying, kuch icha nahi hai. Kuch icha nahi means I don't have any desire now. But normally materialist people, they have so much desire, fulfilled desires, unfulfilled desires. If it is fulfilled also, they want to enjoy that again and again. So this is a very, very nice situation that people, devotees, they don't have any material hankering, this kind of a blissful state. That's called as Nishkama. And Prabhupada tells that a living entity cannot exist without desires. But desires can be never fulfilled or called Kama. So here is a definition for Kama. What is Kama? We know that Kama means lust. So that desires which can never be fulfilled, they are called as Kama. Because Kama means, Krishna says it is burning like a fire. It is saying that it's an eternal enemy. And anybody knows that verse? Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna, Samudbhava, Mahasana, Mahapapa, Vidhiheva, Vairinam. Means it is, Krishna is saying that it will never get fulfilled, Kama. And I think King Ayati is also saying the same thing, that I try to enjoy by taking my son's life, for 1,000 years. And every day I was in sense gratification. But after 1,000 years, he realizing that desires are increasing but never getting fulfilled. That's called that desires which can be never fulfilled and burns like a fire. That is like more you are pouring, every enjoyment is like pouring ghee into the fire. It will flame with more and more. So these are actually where we have to realize this thing, that karma can be never fulfilled by any amount of enjoyment. Rather, it will only inflame more and more by indulging. So that's called as kama. Kama is jnana. So by non-devotees are deprived of their intelligence. Kama means this lusty. Jnana means the intelligence from the heart is getting covered by this kama. So the non-devotees, their heart is actually deprived of this intelligence because it is covered by the lust. So thus they are unable to conquer the Supreme Lord, whereas devotees being freed from unreasonable desires can conquer the Lord. Such devotees are also conquered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are pure, being free from all material desires. They fully surrender to the Supreme Lord, and therefore the Lord conquers them. So this is the main thing. Anya vilashara sunyam jnana karma dhyanavartam anukulena krishnana silanam bhakti uttamam. So bhakti's definition is that we have to be free from all these material desires. Such devotees never aspire for liberation. See, this is a point we discussed in the beginning of this paragraph also, that devotees never aspire for such impossible accomplishment. Means they never desire for liberation or to merge. Okay. They simply desire to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. It's called Sevananda. Means they simply desire to serve the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So one time, there was a Prabhupada disciple in Canada. So he was, he was like serving very nicely. And Prabhupada asked him, what did you like, in Krishna consciousness most? The philosophy, he said, no, Prabhupada, not philosophy. And what do you like? Prasadam, this or that. The devotee, Prabhupada disciple, he just answered, I am just happy by serving the Lord. And I just want to keep continuing to serve him. That gives us me immense happiness rather than, just philosophy or other things, I just want to serve the Lord life after life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also expressed the same, that Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware Bhavatat Bhakti Haituki. Right? Means I just want to serve you. I don't want nadanam, najanam, na sundarim, kavitama jagadisha kame, mama janmani janmani. So I'm not the desire wealth, followers, woman, anything. No, I just want to serve you. That's all. Any service is there, I just do the service. I am very happy. Heaven or hell, any planet, I don't care. But I just want to serve you. That is the mood of a pure devotee. Because they serve the Lord without desires for remuneration. They can conquer the mercy of the Lord. Remuneration means you expect something in return for your service. The pure devotees, they don't expect anything. The Lord is also by nature very merciful, karuna. And when he sees that a servant is working without desires for material profit, naturally he is conquered. So this is the pure highest stage of Krishna consciousness is these two statements, that the Lord also get conquered, whereas the devotee also serves the Lord without any remuneration. So Prabhupada gives that very famous Bhagavatam sloka, which we read from, from the 9th canto, 4th verse, 18th, 4th chapter, 18th verse to 20. Saive mana Krishna padara vindyo, vachamsi vaikunta gunana. So where Ambarish Maharaj, even though he was the king of the whole world, actually he was actually like using all his senses, the karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, all the 10 senses, including the mind. 11 senses he was using in the service of the Lord. And all the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. And the Lord becomes so much devoted to Ambarish Maharaj that one time when Durvasa Muni offended him, even though Durvasa Muni approached Lord Vishnu, Vishnu said that, no, I cannot help you. You have to go and take pardon from my devotee. If he will forgive you, then I will forgive. Then Durvasa Muni rushed to Ambarish Maharaj and begged forgiveness for his offense. Of course, devotees are very merciful. Ambarish Maharaj said, no, I did not take it as an offense. And immediately forgive him. Then his life was saved. Ambarish Maharaj saved Durvasa Muni's life. So because the Lord actually gives so much, importance to his devotees. Because of such devotion, the Lord gives himself to his devotees as they could use him for any purpose they might desire. Of course, like Prabhupada immediately says that when we read that they can use for any desire, Prabhupada says, of course, devotees have no purpose other than to serve, service. So simple thing is Sevananda. They experience bliss by serving the Lord. When a devotee fully surrenders and has no aspiration for material profit, the Lord certainly gives him all opportunities for service. Desham satate uttana bhajatam priti purvakam. So Prabhupada says that bhajatam priti purvakam, not doing service just because our spiritual master is told to chant 16 rounds. Now we should not do like that. Prabhupada says in one lecture that we have to do bhajatam priti purvakam, worship or serve with priti. Then it becomes complete purvakam. Without that, just we are doing mechanically, even though one lecture Radhesham Prabhu says, even though for thousands of years we do arati continuously, but if it is mechanically done, the Lord does not get happy. Just we do, or like mechanically, like, no, it becomes a ritual. Just every day morning we get up and the emotions has to be given. That's why the prayers are very powerful. If you see all the prayers, they are filled with emotions. Like you see the prayers which is expressed here by Citraketu Maharaj. It is full of emotions. No? That emotions should be expressed when we are doing any service to the Lord. Prayers. And also Prabhupada says that one should know the technique of crying for the Lord. That how to shed tears for the Lord. In that way, we can express our emotions. Prabhupada cried many times in the temple. Whenever he is, cleaning the Samadhi Mandir, the Radha Damodar temple also. It is said that Prabhupada used to cry in the middle of the night. So like that, that emotions has to be exhibited and we have to cultivate. So love is actually cultivated. It is not one day magic love will appear. Any love, it takes time to mature. Gradually we come, Adav, Guru, Shraddha, we come with Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. It does not come immediately. Love is actually cultivated. Cultivated means over a period of time, it grows. Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi. Then comes Sadbhava, emotions. So it is a gradual process. And when we are chanting, associating with devotees, then we are actually pouring that, cultivating that devotion. Then when it is maturing, that love is expressed very spontaneously. It is a long way to go, but that is the highest goal of Krishna consciousness. When a devotee fully surrenders and has no aspiration for material profit, the Lord certainly gives him the opportunities for service. That service to be done with pure love. This is the position of the Lord when conquered by his devotees. So this basically the theme is how the devotee and the Lord gets conquered by each other. The devotee conquers the Lord and the Lord conquers the devotee. And there is a sweet reciprocation which is being experienced by both of them. So the devotees anchor their happiness. They receive that Sevananda by actually serving the Lord. So they also experience bliss, which is million times greater than the happiness which is experienced in this material world. So that is the beautiful purport of Prabhupada, giving the highest stage of Krishna consciousness in this verse through the prayers of Citraketu Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So, devotees want to express any questions or any comments, or they want to share any realizations, or further quote any such examples which Prabhupada has mentioned in this purport, like how the Lord was conquered, or how the devotees were experiencing bliss by serving the Lord. Please feel free to share. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Manoharini Mataji, for joining. Madhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu.
So this means Prabhuji here explained means 5819 and 6842 is becoming the perfect relation ship required for to here says to satisfy their own interest. Women deal with if men if they most dear to them, but no one is actually dear to them. Women are supposed to be very saintly, but for their own interest. Means if our interest, there is a in between there is a desire. So we are pleasing. We think that we are pleasing someone. So if there is desire, so it is ends in a distress. So that is a point here. Prabhu explained. Also, every day, every morning, Prabhuji explaining what is that about the Gayatri means initiations, Brahmanical initiation. So the meaning of Gopal Gayatri means Mahamand. This one giving
Kama Gayatri.
Kama Gayatri and Gopal Gayatri, right?
Yes.
So what is the meaning? Means we are doing the worship, means close doing worship. So that is the mood we have to the mind. Yeah, it will be the mood. Just like we are doing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's initiation. So we get that what is the perfection. So we have to understand that what is how we have to do that. So you have to what is the relationship between the God, means we are doing this japa. So that will be the mood of every devotee. So the relation should be, so the mind will be purified. There is no desire.
Yes,
that is the last sentence. The devotee surrender has no aspiration for material profit. They would certainly given him the all opportunity for service.
Yes.
That is
Devananda.
Devananda. So what will be the last? There is no desire. Only the desire to please him.
Serving. Because without desire we cannot exist. So that's why it is to be desire for service.
Service.
Service. How to serve the Lord. Thank you, Prabhu. Sadanasham Prabhu. Thank you for sharing your understanding. And there's sometimes like a material example we can see. Maybe just to understand only I'm saying. We see any like film music and all, we are not hearing now. But, any lyrics if you see, even though it's mundane, you can see how they are expressing the love between two. Like they will tell, I will give you my life. The other one will say, I will give you my life. Without you, I cannot exist. If a material relationship, they are expressing so wonderfully, which is temporary relationship. What about the spiritual things, which is eternal? So that's what all these prayers about. No? Because this is eternal. So we can understand the emotions which is expressed in these prayers, and the devotees how they feel for the Lord. So spiritual things are always eternal. It's like it's a mutual reciprocation from the Lord and the devotees. So in that way, we can little bit try to understand. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Lord.
So any other things we need to highlight? I think, Prabhu, we have 10:30, right, Prabhu? Next one is a very big one, but like it's a big
little bigger. Otherwise, we should have.
Yes. So I think, Prabhu, up to 34 to 49 is up to, I think, fully prayers only.
Prayers only.
Yeah, after the 50 to 65, the Lord responds to the prayers. Now, Lord will talk on the 50th verse. So up to 49 is actually prayers.
Prayers. And 52, Prabhuji?
50 to 65 is actually the Lord responds to the prayers of Citraketu Maharaj. The Lord will speak now after hearing the prayers. So he is reciprocating. The Lord now, the devotee is offering his prayers, and the Lord is reciprocating for the prayers from 50 to 65.
Prayers,
With that, this chapter will complete.
It will complete,
65 verses are there. So I think next week also we will continue. There
most probably, I think
maybe we will touch the Lord 50th verse. Maybe next the Lord's response, reciprocation. Hopefully.
Yeah, because of this daily Bhagavatam Seva, we are completing 3 more chapters. 6th canto will be completed. So,
Yes.
Because of the association.
So. Very good, bro. Very good. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji, very much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Saturday,
not qualified also. But because of all the devotees association, I am also getting the opportunity to read, hear, discuss, and get some inspiration and blessings also. Thank you, Prabhu.
Anything more to add? Anybody? Manoharini Mataji? Anything? Anything to add, Mataji?
Manoharini Mataji is there. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So,
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So maybe Mataji not near the phone.
Nothing, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Pranams to all of you.
Eagerly waiting, Mataji, to hear any points or anything. Thank you, Mataji, for it. Okay, thank you.
Mataji is busy in Bhadra Purnima.
Of course. Bhadra Purnima plus Krishna Jayanti is coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway.
Anything, Prabhu, nearby you?